Ricky, why don't you tell us about your new book?
Well, if you have problems sleeping, buy that book and it'll take care of it. Start reading it, you'll just go right out. No, it's a book about, to me, it's a book about family, faith, and friends. It tells about my upbringing in Kentucky, my great old mom and dad that were just wonderful people, great Christian people. And my mama taught me how to pray and to believe the Bible. And, it's a good mama right there. I always tell people she was a fine Christian woman. Nothing upset her until you got up in her face and talked back. And then she could lose her Christian testimony pretty quick. She'd knock you through a door and make you fix it. I thought I was going to be part of my business. But my dad loved music, and I think years ago, I know that he and his brother, my uncle, when they were teenagers, my dad played guitar and my uncle played mandolin, and he sung tenor with my dad. And my uncle got killed in World War II in Guam. I think he just turned 20, and it devastated my dad. It just broke his heart, and I think he sold his guitar, didn't really play much after that. And years later, I came along. I think my dad always had kind of made a vow in his heart that if he ever had, a son that showed some kind of musical abilities, that he would buy him a mandolin and teach him what he could about mandolin. And I started singing with Mom when I was about 3. She said I'd be playing, in one end of the house. We didn't have a big house, but I'd be playing with my army men or something, and she'd be singing, doing supper or washing. We had an old Ringer washing machine, so it was set on the back porch. But I could hear her sing anytime, and I just started singing harmony to her. Just heard the part, knew the part. So she told Dad, and so one Saturday morning, real early, Dad was a welder, and he came home from a job he was working up in Lima, Ohio, and brought me a little pint-size mandolin, and it was just the right size for me. Had he bought a big old mandolin like this or a guitar or something, it just wouldn't have been the same. I would have never taken to it. But I woke up that morning and put my hand around the neck, and I haven't let go since. It was 50, well,
Some odd.
Yeah. I'll actually be 60, and I'm still trying to. Now I can get my iPhone out and count it up.
You're pretty handy with that iPhone.
Yeah.
We've been texting and
Yeah.
all sorts of things. Don't even have to talk to each other.
I know it, and that's terrible.
Oh, I said. Well, I meant the technology.
Yeah. So Sharon will say, "Well, did you talk to him?" I said, "Yeah." Well, what did he say? I said, "Well, let me see." When you text about it, you don't remember what they say all the time.
Well, we're glad
the generation.
We're glad you're here tonight. We're glad you haven't taken your hands off the mandolin, and we're really excited to hear what you're about to do with it. What are y'all going to do?
Well, we're going to do a record that was originally a bluegrass tune, and I back in my days in the '80s, I made a country tune out of it, and it was a #1 record. Maybe some of you would remember it. Reno and Smiley song.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it if I could.